Welcome back to my nightmare. I did a little vlog about this dress that I have. It is one of my favorite dresses, and I thought that I showed you how to trace the pattern, but either my camera ate that or I just didn't film it, or what probably happened is I thought it was filming and it was not actually recording. Essentially, you want to lay down your fabric and then you are going to trace a pattern. The thing is, this pattern that I'm using right now, which is really simple, you can see there's no darts, there's nothing. You could probably use just a tank top that's a little loose on you and make a similar shape. But usually the tunic is all one piece, and here what I'm doing is I'm elongating the middle to become a dress. So I know I want it to be about 3 inches, 4 inches longer than it already is. So I'm just folding away the top of the bodice and I'm tracing around the pattern piece. And instead of doing that curve right where it is at the hem, you saw where I just stopped, I'm going to make it a straight across hem. So there's a straight across at the top right there because we're going to attach it eventually to the bodice of the dress. And then I'm also going to use my longer ruler, and instead of a curved hem, I'm going to do a straight across hem. The straight across hem is because I'm doing something else to the side that I didn't get a chance to film for you. So there is a reason we're doing that. So here I am just cutting out the first one. You're going to want to cut two. You're going to want a back and a front, cut on fold. And here I am using, I think it's a bed sheet or a wall hanging that I purchased while I was thrifting with my friend in Lancaster. I think I showed you the thrift haul video. So if you go back in my videos, you can find it. So all I'm doing now is I'm laying down my fabric and we're going to do a second cut, a second skirt piece. This is a super easy pattern. It is so easy. And you can do so many variations on it that it's real easy. And like I said, if you just have a tank top that is loose on you, because if it's going to be made with woven fabric and there's no stretch, you can't use like a t-shirt. But if you have like a loose woven tank top, you can pretty much just trace that shape. Oh yeah. So here I am looking for some bias because I need to do the collar as well. Let me see. There has to be a missing video somewhere because I know I showed how to, that's the bodice piece that I've got right there. So I had folded away the bodice piece and I just showed you how to trace the skirt, but I had previously cut out just the top as well. So you can see so right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to find a little bit of a stretchy bias part so I can make a neck facing, because facings I feel are easier than normal things. So I'm laying the bodice piece down on top of the other piece so that I can trace the neckline of this specific piece, like this specific bodice, and do on the fold. So I'm laying a fold against a fold, and it'll give me a nice U shape to work with to make the facing. So here I am just tracing that neckline, and then I'm eyeballing it, but you don't have to eyeball it. You could use a ruler and just like about an inch, you want to cut out a facing, which we're going to pin the right sides together of our bodice pieces, which I think you'll see right here. So yeah, right sides together of our bodice piece. And we're just going to pin around that neckline and pin down that facing. And then what you do is you stitch around the closest part to the neckline. So that very top of the facing, you stitch all of that down and then you flip it inside out so that on the inside of the garment, and then you stitch that down, and then you have like a nice like panel inside that finishes the garment for you. So here I am doing the back piece, same thing. We're just going to make a quick and dirty little facing, and we're going to pin that U shape onto the bodice piece. I'm glad that, so like, I'm glad we changed the format a little. So I'm doing more like sewing vlog versus like a sewing tutorial. Cause where I was really good at writing written tutorials for my Etsy shop, I am terrible at filming tutorials. But you'll see here, like I said, we're just gonna pin that in place and then we're going to stitch around the top and flip it under and then stitch it down basically. And it finishes off the neck in a really nice way. And here's 2 minutes of dead air that I definitely could have freaking edited out. But it is midnight on New Year's Eve and I'm editing videos, so what does that tell you? Okay, and then also here are our skirt pieces that you just saw me cut out the first part of the video. And so since I don't like to sew, like I don't like to go to the sewing machine more than I have to. So since I'm already going to be sewing that neckline down, I am pinning the bodice and the skirt together so that they can become one. And I ended up cutting a gentle curve in the hem of this on the side seam instead of in the middle like it was. And I just pleated a random straight piece of fabric to create a ruffle. And I really pleated it in very random places. I didn't even measure. It's just very like abstract pleating. And what it's really interesting, and I would encourage you if you're new to sewing to just try and stitch a straight piece of fabric to a curve just to see what it does, because I find it comes out really interesting. So here is the finished piece with the facings and tacked, and you can see right there, that's my little side ruffle that I attached with the straight piece of fabric against a curve. And I am extremely happy with how this came out. Like I wore it to work the other day and it is super fun. So anyway, yeah, if you like this video, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing. Make sure you're taking care of yourself outside. Go outside, get a walk, snack, drink water. I don't care.